Hello dear students, in this lesson I'm going to talking about solving quadratic equation by factorization. First example, we have 2x minus 3 x plus 7 equal to 0. We have to find the value for x for each parenthesis apart like that. We have 2x minus 3, so 2x minus 3 equal to 0, or x plus 7, the second parenthesis, equal to 0, and then we have to find the value for x for each equation. So first, in the first equation, you have 2x minus 3 equal to 0. We have to change the place of negative 3 into the right side to get rid of this negative 3 and stay x alone. So you have 2x equal to 0. When we change a negative 3 to the right side, negative 3 become positive 3. After that, 2x equal to 0 plus 3 equal to 3. And then to get rid of this 2, we have to divide both sides by 2 to make the x stay alone. So you have to divide it by 2 both sides. So the value for x equal to 3 out of 2. Or the second equation, or the second expression, you have x plus 7 equal to 0. So we have to change the place of positive 7 to the right side. So x is equal to 0. When we change the positive 7 to the right side, become negative 7. And then x is equal to 0 minus 7 equal to negative 7. So the value for x, or the solution for this equation, are 3 out of 2 or negative 7. So you have the x has two values, 3 out of 2 or negative 7. Example number 2, you have x multiplied by 2x minus 1 equal to 0. So first you have to make x equal to 0, or the second expression, 2x minus 1 equal to 0. So for the value for x for the first equation, x is equal to 0, and the second equation you have to find the value for x. So you have to change the place of negative 1 to the right side. So you have 2x equal to 0. When we change the place of negative 1 to the right side, become positive 1. And then you have 2x equal to 0 plus 1 equal to 1. After that, you have to divide both sides by 2 to get rid of this 2. So x is equal to 1 out of 2. The solution for this equation is 0 or 1 out of 2. Example number 3, we have 2x multiplied by x plus 11 equal to 0. First, we have to each equation equal to 0. So we have 2x equal to 0 or x plus 11 equal to 0. And then we have to find the value for each equation. 2x equal to 0, we have to divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to 0 out of 2 is 0, x is equal to 0, or x plus 11 equal to 0. You have to change the place of positive 11 to the right side. So you have x is equal to 0 minus 11, x is equal to negative 11. So the solution for this equation is 0 or negative 11. Example number 4, we have 3 plus 4x multiplied by 2x equal to 0. So the first equation, we have 3 plus 4x equal to 0, or 2x equal to 0. First, you have to change the place of 3 or positive 3 to the right side. 4x equal to 0 minus 3. So 4x equal to negative 3. We have to divide both sides by 4. So x equal to negative 3 out of 4. Or 2x equal to 0. We have to divide both sides by 2. X equal to 0. So the value for x is negative 3 out of 4, or x equal to 0. Example number 5, you have x multiplied by x plus 25 equal to 0. So first, we have to each equation equal to 0, x is equal to 0, or x plus 25 equal to 0. So the first value for x is 0, and the second, you have to solve the second equation. X equal to 0, you have to change the place of positive 25 to the right side, become negative 25, and then x is equal to negative 25. So the solution for this equation is 0 or negative 25. Example number 6, we have 7 minus 2x multiplied by 6x equal to 0. The first equation, we have 7 minus 2x equal to 0, or 6x equal to 0, and then you have to change the place of 7 to the right side. So negative 2x stay equal to 0 plus 7, and then negative 2x equal to 7. We have to divide both sides by negative 2. These two terms are cancelled, and then x stay equal to negative 7 out of 2. But 7 is positive. When we change the place of positive 7 to the right side, become negative. So 0 minus 7 equal to negative 7. And then these two sign become positive 7 out of 2. After that, the value for the second equation, 6x equal to 0, I have to divide both sides by 6. These two 6's are cancelled, so x is equal to 0. So x is 7 out of 2, or x is equal to 0. In the second part of this lesson, I'm gonna talking about how can we solving quadratic equation by factoring. If a quadratic equation is written in standard form, like 4x squared plus 3x plus another number equal to 0, then to solve the equation you may need to factor before using the zero product property. So in this case, we have to take the greatest common factor before using the zero product property and finding the value of x. So first we have to take the greatest common factor. We can't take the greatest common factor for 4 and 3 because the greatest common factor for 4 and 3 is 1, but the greatest common factor for x squared and x is x. After that, you have to divide 4x squared divided by x equal to 4x. In division we have to subtract the exponent, do minus 1 equal to 1. After that 3, we have to write 3, and then x divided by x equal to 1. And then we have to equal each expression to 0 and find the value of x. So x is equal to 0, or 4x plus 3 equal to 0, and then the first value for x is 0, and the second you have to solve this expression or equation. You have to change the place of positive 3 to the right side, so 4x equal to 0. When we change the place of positive 3 to the right side, become negative 3, and then 4x equal to negative 3. We have to divide both sides by 4, so x is equal to, these two terms are cancelled, x is equal to negative 3 out of 4. So x is equal to 0, or x is equal to negative 3 out of 4. The second example, you have 16x squared minus 25 equal to 0. This equation is the difference between two squares, because both the sides are perfect square, and we have to subtract between these two terms. So you have to, or we can use the rules for difference between two squares. We have to draw two parentheses. The first parenthesis is plus and the second is minus, and then 16 comes from 4 multiplied by 4, and then x squared comes from x multiplied by x. After that 25 comes from 5 times 5 equal to 0. After that you have to equal each expression to 0 and then solve for the value for x. So 4x plus 5 equal to 0, or 4x minus 5 equal to 0. You have to change the place of positive 5 to the right side, so 4x equal to 0 minus 5, and then 0 minus 5 equal to negative 5. After that you have to divide both sides by 4. These two terms are cancelled. X equal to negative 5 out of 4, or, and then the second value for x, you have to solve the second expression. You have to change the place of negative 5 to the right side, so 4x equal to positive 5, and then you have to divide both sides by 4, so x equal to 5 out of 4. So the solution is, are x is equal to negative 5 out of 4 and x is equal to 5 out of 4. Example number 3, we have x plus 1 to the power 2 minus 16 equal to 0. Again, this is the difference between two squares, so we have to use the difference of two squares rules. You can draw two parentheses. The first one is plus and the second is minus. X plus 1 squared comes from x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 1. So we have x plus 1 and x plus 1, and then 16 comes from 4 multiplied by 4. After that you have to equal each expression to 0 and find the value of x. X plus 1 plus 4 equal to 0, or x plus 1 minus 4 equal to 0. So we can simplify. 1 plus 4 equal to 5, so x plus 5 equal to 0, or x plus 5, you have to change the place of positive 5 to the right side, so x is equal to 0 minus 5, x is equal to negative 5, or the second expression, 4 x plus 1 minus 4 equal to 0, so you can simplify. Positive times negative is negative, you have to subtract these two numbers. 4 minus 1 equal to 3, the sign of the large number is negative. X minus 3 equal to 0, you have to change the place of negative 3 to the right side, so x equal to 0 plus 3, x equal to 3. So the solution are x is equal to negative 5 or x is equal to 3. Example number 4, x squared plus 4x plus 4 equal to 0. This equation is perfect square. So we can write this expression as a perfect square. We can draw a parenthesis, and then the two signs are positive. You have to write at inside the parenthesis and then equal to 0. In the first term, you have to write the first power of the first term, x, and then you have to write the first power of the third term, 2, because 4 come from 2 multiplied by 2, and x squared come from x multiplied by x, so you have to write square over the parentheses. After that, we can make this parenthesis like that, x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2 equal to 0, and then we have to write this equation like that, x plus 2 equal to 0, or x plus 2 equal to 0. You have to find the value for x. You have to change the place of positive 2 to the right side, 0 minus 2, so x is equal to negative 2, and then the expression for the right side, you have to change the place of positive 2 to the right side, so x is equal to 0 minus 2, x is equal to negative 2. So the solution is x equal to negative 2. Example number 5, you have 2y plus 3 to the power 2 minus 9 equal to 0. This is the difference of two squares, so we can write the rules for difference of two squares. We have to draw two parentheses, and the first one is add, and the second is subtract. 2y plus 3 square come from 2y plus 3 multiplied by 2y plus 3, so we have to write the first 2y plus 3 in the first parenthesis, and then the second in the second parenthesis, 2y plus 3, and then 9 come from 3 times 3 equal to 0. After that, you have to equal each expression to 0, and then find the value for x for each expression. So 2y plus 3 plus 3 equal to 0, or 2y plus 3 minus 3 equal to 0. And then we can simplify. 2y 3 plus 3 equal to 6 equal to 0, and then we have to change the place of positive 6 to the right side. 2y equal to 0 minus 6, and then 2y equal to negative 6. You have to divide both sides by 2. These two terms are cancelled, so y equal to 6 minus divided by 2 is 3, so y equal to negative 3 or the second expression, 2y plus 3 minus 3 equal to 0, we can simplify, plus 3 minus 3 equal to 0, so we have 2y equal to 0, you have to divide both sides by 2. These two terms are cancelled, y equal to 0. So y equal to negative 3 or y equal to 0. The solution are negative 3 and 0. Example number 6, we have negative y squared plus 18, 1 equal to 0. So we can rewrite this equation like the difference between two squares. So we can write this equation like that. Positive 81 minus y squared equal to 0. Now this is the difference between two squares. So we can write the rules for difference between two squares. 81 comes from 9 multiplied by 9, and then the first parenthesis is plus and the second is minus. Y squared comes from y multiplied by y. After that, we have to equal each expression to 0 and find the value of the value for y. 9 plus y equal to 0, or 9 minus y equal to 0. So you have to change the place of positive 9 to the right side. Y equal to 0 minus 9, y equal to negative 9, and then you have to change the place of positive 9 to the right side. Negative y equal to 0 minus 9, so negative y equal to after that the value for each variable should not be negative, so you have to multiply both sides by negative 1 to make this variable be positive. When we multiply negative y by negative 1, the y, we will get y, positive y, and then negative 9 multiplied by negative 1 is 9. So the value for y is negative 9, or y equal to 9. Example number 7, we have 9 y squared minus 6y plus 1 equal to 0. This is the perfect square, so we can use the rule for perfect square. You can draw a parenthesis and then you have to write 2 over the parenthesis equal to 0, and then because one of the sign is negative and the other is positive, the sign inside the parenthesis should be negative. And then 9 y squared come from 3 multiplied by y, 3 multiplied by y. So 9 come from 3 times 3, and y squared come from y multiplied by y. So the first 3 y you have to write inside the first parenthesis, and then y 1 come from 1 multiplied by 1, so you have to write 1 inside the parenthesis as the second term. After that, you have to open this parenthesis like that. 3y minus 1 multiplied by 3y minus 1 equal to 0, and then you have to equal each expression to 0 and then find the value for y. 3y minus 1 equal to 0, or 3y minus 1 equal to 0. You have to change the place of negative 1 to the right side. 3y equal to 0 plus 1, 3y equal to 1. You have to divide both sides by 3. These two terms are cancelled. Y equal to 1 out of 3. and then the right side we have the same equation. So in both sides y equal to 1 out of 3, so the value for y is 1 out of 3. The last example number 8, we have 5y minus 2 to the power 2 equal to 16. We have to rewrite this equation as a difference between two squares like that. 5y minus 2 square, we have to change the place of positive 16 to the left side, so become negative 16, and then we have to equal this equation to 0. Now we have the difference between two squares. We can use the rules. We have to draw two parentheses. The first one is positive and the second is negative. So 5y minus 2 square come from 5y minus 2 multiplied by 5y minus 2, and then 16 come from 4 multiplied by 4 equal to 0. And then we have to equal each expression to 0 and then find the value for y. So we have 5y minus 2 plus 4 equal to 0, or 5y minus 2 minus 4 equal to 0. After that, we can simplify. Negative multiplied by positive is negative. You have to subtract these two numbers. 4 minus 2 equal to 2. We have to write the sign of the large number, positive 2 equal to 0, and then we have to change the place of positive to the right side. 5y equal to 0 minus 2, 5y equal to minus 2, and then you have to divide both sides by 5. So y equal to negative 2 out of 5, and then the right side you have 5y minus 2 minus 4 equal to 0. So we have 5y minus times minus equal to plus. We have to add these two numbers. 2 plus 4 equal to 6. The sign of the large number is negative 6 equal to 0, and then we have to change the place of negative 6 to the right side. So we have 5y equal to 0 plus 6, and then 5y equal to 6. We have to divide both sides by 5. These two 5's are cancelled, and then y equal to 6 out of 5. So the value for y is r negative 2 out of 5, or 5, or 6 out of 5.